Everyone knows Yellowstone, and it's America's famous supervolcano, the one that gets the documentaries, the doomsday headlines, the viral content about what happens if it erupts. It has become almost cultural at this point, a geological boogeyman that everyone has heard of. But there is another supervolcano sitting inside the United States that most Americans have never heard of. It sits in eastern California, 200 miles from Los Angeles, beneath one of the state's most popular ski destinations. It last erupted in one of the largest volcanic events in North American history, and right now, it is showing signs of unrest that scientists have been quietly monitoring for over 40 years. Earthquake swarms that never fully stop, ground that has been rising since 1980, carbon dioxide seeping up through the soil in concentrations high enough to kill trees from the roots up, and occasionally high enough to nearly kill people. This is Long Valley Caldera, and the reason most Americans have never heard of it is exactly why you need to be paying attention to it. Long Valley Caldera sits in Mono County, eastern California, on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada, roughly halfway between Los Angeles and Reno. It is 20 miles long, 11 miles wide, one of the largest volcanic calderas in North America. The eruption that created it happened 760,000 years ago. Geologists call it the Bishop Tuff event, named for the thick layer of volcanic ash and rock that blankets the region around the town of Bishop to this day. That single eruption ejected approximately 150 cubic miles of volcanic material. The ash cloud it produced deposited material across half the continental United States, as far east as Nebraska, as far south as the Mexican border. To put that in perspective, the 1980 Mount St. Helens eruption ejected about a quarter of a cubic mile. Long Valley's founding eruption was 600 times larger. What remained after that eruption collapsed was the caldera, a massive depression that over hundreds of thousands of years partially refilled with lava flows, hydrothermal activity, and a feature called the resurgent dome, a section of the caldera floor that has been slowly, persistently pushing upward as magma accumulates beneath it. That resurgent dome is still rising today, and sitting directly on the western rim of this caldera, on the edge of a supervolcano, is Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort, one of the most visited ski destinations in California, and within the caldera itself, the town of Mammoth Lakes, a community of 8,000 permanent residents that swells to over 50,000 during ski season. Most of them have no idea what they're sitting inside. Before we go further, have you ever been to Mammoth Mountain or Long Valley? Drop it below. We want to know how many people watching this have been inside this caldera without knowing it. May 1980 is remembered in American geological history for one event, Mount St. Helens. The eruption that killed 57 people, flattened 230 square miles of forest, and sent ash across 11 states dominated every headline for months. It is still the defining volcanic event in modern American memory. What almost nobody remembers is what was happening simultaneously on the other side of the country. In the same month that St. Helens erupted, Long Valley was hit by 4 magnitude 6 earthquakes in a single day. 4. The ground beneath Mammoth Lakes cracked and shook with a violence that sent residents fleeing and prompted the USGS to issue something they almost never issue, a notice of potential volcanic hazard. It was one of only a handful of such notices ever issued for a US volcano. The implication was clear. The system was waking up. Panic set in across Mammoth Lakes. Property values collapsed, businesses closed, people left. The economic damage from the alert alone was severe. A community built entirely around tourism and recreation, suddenly carrying the label of potential volcanic hazard zone. The alert was eventually downgraded as the most intense activity passed. The headlines faded, the public moved on. But the system didn't go back to what it was before. Through the 1980s and into the 1990s, earthquake swarms continued. The resurgent dome rose by nearly 2 feet, geologically rapid uplift that confirmed magma was accumulating below. And then came something that made scientists sit up and take notice in a different way entirely. The trees on Mammoth Mountain started dying. In the early 1990s, large patches of forest on the flanks of Mammoth Mountain began showing a strange pattern of die-off. Not from disease, not from drought. The trees were dying from their roots up, their root systems suffocating in soil where the oxygen had been displaced by something rising from below. Carbon dioxide, volcanic CO2, produced by magma degassing at depth, was seeping upward through the soil in concentrations high enough to kill root systems across dozens of acres. The kill zones are still visible today, areas of dead standing timber on an active ski mountain where the ground itself is exhaling volcanic gas. This is not a surface hydrothermal feature. This is the same signature scientists watch for at Campi Flegrei, magma at depth releasing gases that migrate upward through the crust, trapped beneath the surface until they find a pathway out. The USGS Long Valley Observatory currently measures approximately 520 to 730 tons of CO2 being released from Mammoth Mountain alone every single day. That is a continuous, persistent, decades-long magmatic signal. And the human risk is real. USGS has documented multiple incidents of people being overcome by CO2 in snow-covered cabins and enclosed spaces around Mammoth, situations where the gas pooled at low points and displaced breathable air. In winter conditions with snow ceiling gaps around structures, volcanic CO2 can accumulate to lethal concentrations without warning. A ski resort in California has been slowly suffocating trees and occasionally nearly killing people for 30 years because of magma degassing beneath it. That story has almost never made national news. The USGS Long Valley Observatory has been running continuous monitoring since the 1980 crisis. GPS networks, seismometers, gas sensors, tilt meters tracking ground deformation in real time. The current volcano alert level, normal, green. If that sounds familiar, it should. It's the same label situation we see at Campi Flegrei. Green and normal are technically accurate in that no eruption is imminent. They are not accurate representations of the level of ongoing activity beneath the surface. Here's what the monitoring actually shows. The resurgent dome has risen approximately 2 to 3 feet since 1980. It continues to move. The rate has slowed in recent years, but the net uplift is real and documented. The caldera floor is higher today than it was 4 decades ago. Earthquake swarms are regular and persistent. A significant swarm in 2014 produced hundreds of earthquakes over several weeks, concentrated directly beneath the caldera at depths consistent with the magma system. The seismicity never fully quiets. There is always something happening below the surface. Imaging studies have identified 3 separate magma bodies beneath Long Valley at different depths. The shallowest sits at approximately 5 to 8 kilometers, within direct influence of the hydrothermal system above it. That system is actively connected. The CO2 emissions are the proof. This is not a dead system in a holding pattern. This is a live volcanic system in a state of persistent low-level unrest that has been documented continuously for over 40 years. Here's the part that separates Long Valley from Yellowstone in terms of actual human exposure. Yellowstone sits inside a national park in Wyoming. The immediate hazard zone is vast, but the permanent population within it is tiny. The nearest major city, Salt Lake City, is 300 miles away. Long Valley is in California. US 395, the main highway corridor for Eastern California, carrying millions of vehicles per year, runs directly through the caldera. Mammoth Lakes sits inside it. Within 100 miles, Bishop, Bridgeport, dozens of smaller communities whose entire economies depend on tourism flowing through this landscape. Los Angeles is 200 miles south. The 760,000 year ago eruption deposited ash as far as Nebraska. A repeat of that event would deposit ash across Los Angeles, collapse roofs, shut down LAX, contaminate water supplies, and trigger an agricultural catastrophe across the Central Valley. That is not a prediction. That scale of event is not supported by current data as an imminent threat, but even a fraction of that. A dome-building event inside the caldera, a phreatic explosion triggered by the hydrothermal system, a lava flow on the caldera floor. Any of those scenarios, none requiring the full supervolcanic scale, would devastate one of California's most economically critical tourism corridors and strand tens of thousands of visitors with no volcano evacuation protocol most of them have ever seen. Yellowstone has a dedicated observatory, a massive public outreach program, a visitor center that explains the volcanic system, and a media profile that generates content every time a bison walks near a fumarole. Long Valley has the USGS Long Valley Observatory, excellent science, rigorous monitoring, almost zero public profile. The disparity isn't about geological significance. Long Valley's founding eruption was comparable in scale to Yellowstone's largest events. The magmatic system is real, confirmed, and active. The ongoing unrest has been documented for 4 decades. The disparity is about economics and politics. Mammoth Mountain generates hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Mammoth Lakes depends almost entirely on tourism. A public profile equivalent to Yellowstone's, constant media attention, viral content about what happens if it erupts, would do to Mammoth Lake's property values what the 1980 alert did permanently. The same dynamic we watched play out at Campi Flegrei, where scientists were quietly saying they'd raise the alert level while official communications held it at yellow for economic reasons, exists here, just more quietly, just with better skiing. The current USGS assessment is straightforward. Long Valley is not showing signs of imminent eruption. The resurgent dome uplift has slowed. Earthquake swarms continue at levels consistent with what has become the post-1980 baseline. No dramatic escalation is occurring. Previous unrest cycles, 1980, 1997, 2014, all passed without eruption. The system has shown repeatedly that it can produce significant unrest without proceeding to surface activity. But here's what cannot be said, that this system is dormant, stable, or not worth understanding. The CO2 emissions alone, 500 plus tons per day, every day for 30 years, confirm ongoing magma degassing at depth. 3 confirmed magma bodies sit beneath the caldera. The ground is higher than it was in 1980. Scientists cannot predict when or if the next eruption occurs. They can confirm the system is alive and that the infrastructure of modern California has been built around and inside it, without the level of public awareness that the data suggests is warranted. The most recent volcanic activity in the Long Valley system didn't happen in the geological past. The Mono Inyo craters, a chain of volcanic vents running along the caldera's eastern edge, last erupted approximately 650 years ago, around 1350 CE. That is medieval Europe. That is closer to the present moment than the founding of the United States is to us now. The system that produced one of the largest eruptions in North American history erupted somewhere in its chain within human historical memory, has been in documented unrest since 1980, is releasing hundreds of tons of volcanic CO2 every day, has 3 confirmed magma bodies beneath it, and the town built inside it has no volcano evacuation plan that most of its residents or visitors know about. The ski resort on its rim is one of California's most visited destinations, and the observatory monitoring it operates with a public profile that is essentially invisible outside the volcanology community. Long Valley is not Yellowstone. It doesn't have the brand, it doesn't have the movies, it doesn't have the cultural weight. It just has the magma, the ground that won't stop rising, the trees that keep dying, and 40 years of unrest with no sign of stopping. Whether California is paying attention is a different question entirely.